Hey guys, so I am getting ready to do a training for you on goal setting. And I hope by now, if you are to this point where you are seeing this training, you have probably seen this, and I hope you have it downloaded. So if you have not, please download this document. It's the goal setting document. And page number 2 attached to this, when you print this off, will be this little document here called Goal Setting Made Simple. This one here just breaks this down a little bit more in detail for you, so it might make it a little bit more understandable. My goal is to make this super clear, but I know there's really lots of things that I could throw out here on goal setting, and I'm gonna try and do my best in as short amount of time as possible. And I really recommend that the first time you do goal setting, that you actually do it with your upline area manager or your upline VP, and let them help you to know how to see what is a realistic goal for you based off of what you're wanting to receive out of this business. But I'm gonna give you guys just some basic goal setting principles that I've learned in the beginning of my business that I've kind of used all along in my business, and has been just simple. And I feel like if you can keep a simple goal setting system, then it can duplicate. And so, first of all, I want to just say this. I remember hearing in the beginning of my business that when you have a goal, because everyone's like, oh yeah, my goal is to go in qualification for district manager, or my goal is to go in qualification for area. Saying your goal out loud gives you a 7% chance that that'll become a reality. That's 0, 7, 7. However, the crazy statistic is if you actually write your goal down on paper, it becomes a 70% chance. So 70, not 07, 70% chance that it will become a reality. So that's pretty massive chance that your goal will become a reality just by writing it down. So that is, like they say, the faintest ink is stronger than the strongest memory. So writing it down triggers in your brain to go to action and try to make it become a reality. Now this was the one that really blew my brain. Jack Canfield, the guy that wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul books and lots of other books, but he wrote, or he spoke at one of our conferences, and he said that there's statistics showing that if you write your goal and write an action plan, what am I gonna do to get to that goal? This is my goal. What is my plan to get to that goal? He said if you write your goal, write your plan, and then look at it every day, there's a 200% chance that it'll become a reality. And when they have done interviews with people who graduated from college or people who went to college, and I can't remember, I think it was like they went to a university and wrote down like, and took interviews of people who actually had goals for why they were there. And the crazy thing was, like, people who had written down goals, it was like 3% of the people that they interviewed. And when they went back 20 years later to look up those people, of all the people that they interviewed are like, oh, my goal is to do this, my goal is to do this, the people who said their goals, most of them weren't achieving them. But the people who actually wrote it down and had their goals written down, every single one of them had achieved their goals and more. And so there is value in writing your goals down and keeping them in front of you and knowing what you're working to. And so write your goals down, keep them in front of you. It's super simple to do. It's quick to do. It takes maybe 15, 20 minutes to sit down and do your goals. And so to have that kind of results just for writing them down is huge. So I know I've talked about that forever, but I just want to encourage you guys, really, really write your goals down. So let's get to this little sheet here. So your good, great, and awesome goal. Every month we write our goal. It's a good, great, and awesome goal. I have always done my good goal is 2,500. My great goal is 5,000, and my awesome goal is 10,000 in sales monthly. So you guys, those numbers might seem big. I remember when I heard 2,500 to go into qualification for district manager, and I thought, what? Who can buy that much? But you are not buying that much. You are just selling that much. And that scared me because I'm like, I don't sell. So we just share Arbonne. And the fastest way and the easiest way to get to that 2,500 is by doing your group presentations. You are also going to sell products in other ways. You can sell products through, talking to people about the nutrition. Sending them little videos and saying, hey, would you be willing to take a peek at this? And is this something you'd be interested in doing, the 30 days to healthy living? So there are lots of fillers. I grew my business mainly off of group presentations, and that's the way I was taught. And so I'm going to do most of this training based off group presentations because it makes the numbers just make sense for you. But you know, you can fill in with any other kind of activity. The goal is 30 to 40 people. If you are doing 88 presentations a month with just 5 people present at each of those presentations, you are in front of 5 people. And 5 times 8 is 40. So you're in front of your 40 people really fast. And it's the simplest and the easiest way to get in front of a lot of people and share the Arbonne story. If you do 8 presentations and those 8 presentations average out to about $500 a presentation, you're looking at about $4,000 in sales. You guys, most presentations will average out to about $500 a presentation if you're consistent with doing your 8. If you're doing like 2 and 3 and 4, your average normally goes lower because you don't have some of the higher ones to balance out some of the lower ones, if that makes sense. So the goal is get a higher average of actual presentations you're executing and your average sales will get higher. If your average sales are not as high as you want to be, this is where we evaluate. And so like if you notice the questions over here, where do I need to focus on? You'll see questions. One of them is sales. So when you get to that point, like, oh, my average sales is really low. My average sales at my presentation is more like $200 or $150. I went through a stage where my average sale was like $100. I'm like, man, I'm working really hard for $800 a month. And I was like, something's wrong. And I had to reevaluate, and a lot of it is just skill. We can help you with that. So if we know where your crack is, we can help you with the skill to help you to overcome that. So that's the beauty of checking your goals. So if you're like, well, I don't know what my average party sale is because you are just getting started, after your first month, what you'll do is you'll take how many presentations did I do, how much total sales did I have, and divide your total sales by the amount of presentations you do, and that will tell you what your average is. And so next month then, when you're looking to set your goal, if your goal is 2,500 but your average sale is only 100, like, man, you either need to do a whole lot of presentations to get up to that dollar, to that, you know, the law of averages need to match up. Or we need to work on your skill a little bit so we can get your average presentation up. Something needs to shift there. So the goal is 8 presentations, but the ultimate goal is in being in front of about 40 people, 30 to 40 people monthly sharing the Arbonne story. So great goal. We say $2,500 is an amazing good goal because it's very easy to hit that. You can see if you're executing and getting in front of 40 people, you're gonna pretty easily hit that number. It says 44,000 if you're doing $500 presentations. So even if some of your presentations cancel or your sales aren't quite so high, you're very likely gonna hit 2,500. And 2,500 is just a smart building block. To go district manager, you have to do 2,500 3 months in a row or 6,000 over 2 months. And so then to go area manager, it takes doing, and you'll see these numbers on this sheet here. It doesn't, on district manager, it doesn't break down the 2,500 3 months in a row. It just goes straight for the 6,000 because that just makes sense. It's easier to do that versus dragging it out over 3 months. But worst case scenario, you just did 2,500, 2,500, 2,500. You'd be a district manager in 3 months. The beautiful thing is to go area manager, you just do 10,000 3 months in a row. So I know that number sounds ridiculous. I'm gonna show you how you get to that number. That number by yourself is almost impossible. You could do it. I know people who've done it, but they killed themselves doing it, and I don't recommend that. So the second goal, your great goal, is what I really aim for as my good goal. So my great goal is normally $5,000. That way I'm hitting my district manager bonus even by myself. So if I'm a team of 1, I'm gonna be making an extra $200 bonus on my paycheck just by aiming for that $5,000 mark. So you can see if your average is closer to 500 and you're doing your 8 presentations, all you really need is a little bit of extra filler activity to be getting yourself up to that $5,000 mark. So if you're talking to some people on the side about nutrition, planting some RE9 samples and following up with them, very easily you can hit that $5,000 mark even as a team of 1. So I always aim or maybe execute 10 presentations instead of just 8 presentations because that extra $200 on your paycheck makes a fun difference. So aim for 5,000. You can do that as a team of 1. I have lots of friends who do that all the time. I do it all the time still. Awesome goal. Your awesome goal is your goal that is like, if I am doing my presentations, while I'm doing my presentations, I'm gonna really, really hone in on the skill of closing my presentation good. And so mastering that skill, Devin has a couple amazing videos on our website that you can take a peek at to learn how to get really, really good at closing out your presentations. So get really good at closing out your presentations, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna find people who want to join your team. One of the things that I recommend is that you make a list of who do you want on your team. Like, what are the qualities of people that you would love to work with? So like for me, some of mine are hardworking, self-driven, fun, not negative. Like, I want positive, life-giving people on my team. And so what are the qualities that you would love to work with? Person of integrity. And so when I meet someone then at a presentation and they're fun, they're the life of the party, or when I meet someone, they're like working 2 and 3 jobs and they're the one that's pitching in and like saying, hey, can I help you? Or they're like emptying foot spa tubs. I'm like, bingo, that's someone I would love to work with. And so you're looking for the qualities that you have written down. And when you find someone who fits that criteria, and not that you're picking and choosing, because sometimes you might not see all of those qualities at a presentation. Maybe someone had a bad day, but maybe they're normally an optimistic person, or maybe they're a hard worker, but they've just are sucked dry at their presentation or at their jobs. So you're at this presentation, don't prejudge, but you're looking for who's looking for you. And so it's not about getting people, it's about finding the people who are supposed to be on your team. And the way you do that is by getting really good at the close of your presentation and getting good at asking questions to get to know people to see if they might fit what you're looking for. And so if you're at your presentations and you are sharing the close of your party and someone decides to join your business, or 2 people decide to join your business, you're all of a sudden gonna have more people doing more presentations on your team, and that's how you hit area manager numbers. So I'm gonna show you this. 10,000 is hard to do by yourself, and so this is what I always like to say. This is how you become a $10,000 team. This is your business. You are like a table. And so a table with 1 leg cannot stand. And you will only survive in your Arbonne business for a short season if you stay a team of 1. Your goal is to build legs onto your table so you can have a solid table. You can have as many legs as you want, but this is what you need bare minimum to be considered a solid, strong business. And I remember seeing that, and Carnita said, who are the people? So what you're gonna do is as you're making a list of people that you would love to have on your team, put them over here. And these are people that you can reach out to. Maybe they're people who've been to presentations recently, or maybe they're people that you just know, they're on your star contact list. And put their names over here, and those are people you're gonna reach out to and say, hey, I keep thinking about you because I think you should take a peek at my Arbonne business. I don't even have a clue if this is something you would consider doing, or if you've even thought about extra ways to make an extra strand of income, or if you even need it. But honestly, when I think of people who are like the people I would want to work with, you're like at the top of the list because you're so fun. You light up the room, and I feel like with your personality style, you'd do great with this. Or because you're such a hard worker, and I feel like hard workers need to be their own boss. Why not make a little bit of extra income? I don't know if this would be a fit for you, and I don't want you to feel like I'm going to try to convince you at all. I would just love for you to get some information so that I can sleep at night knowing that you know this information. And if you decide it's not a fit for you, no big deal, but at least I'll know you know. And if anything changes, then you know I'll be here, and I would love to partner with you. And so that's a great way to ask people to be a part of to listen, to see if they would be interested in being part of your team. You share the business enough with enough people, and you will find people who want to be one of your circles. When you have 3 people doing their 2,500, that's 10,000. They're each doing their 2,500. You're doing your 2,500. 10,000. You're an area manager. Now, the beautiful thing is, it doesn't have to just be you. So say you find someone on your team to join. So this is you. You find someone to join your team. And then that person, right here, we'll pretend it's this person. They find someone to join their team. So you can draw out your team. And then, so now there's you found this person, they found this person, because we're all duplicating the same thing. And then say the next month you find someone over here and they find someone over here. Before you know it, so your 4 could look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It can look however, but the one thing I always like to tell people is the ones that are up here direct to you, those are the ones that you'll get paid the most off of. So your bigger the more direct legs you have on your table, the fatter your paycheck. So don't get comfortable with 3. Our goal every month, what I set for myself is 2,501. Bring 1 new partner onto my team so I can teach and train them. And so sometimes you have to have 3 people that say they're going to get started before 1 will actually follow through. A lot of times, maybe I get 10 people to say, yeah, I'll listen to the business. Of the 10, maybe 3 will say they're decided that they might want to get started. Of the 3, 1 will actually follow through, do the action plan, and actually get started. So it's all the law of averages. You get a little better as you do it longer, but get practice. Let us help you and partner with you so you can grow a very strong, stable team. And then the other thing that I like to just tell people is just to look over here and ask yourself again, where do I need to work on? Is it the close of my presentation? Is it prospecting, which is basically talking to people about the business? A lot of people struggle there. Let us help you, because your business will grow fast when you get good at that skill. And like I said, it's just a skill. We can partner with you and help you. There's verbiage everywhere to help you with this kind of stuff, but let us know where you're struggling. If it's sales, if your sales are low, we can help you with that. If it's that your mindset, like, most people struggle with this. I struggle with this sometimes, and we have to constantly do personal development, which is one of those things on there. It's like this, what do I need to focus on? Every month you need to check that one, because every month you need to focus on personal development. It is at the top of my list, and if you want to transform your business, you have to transform your mind. And so I want to encourage you guys, plug into personal development, listen to trainings like crazy. We become professionals by going to school. The schooling is free. There's lots of it available. You just have to plug into it and get good at it. And so still to this day, I plug into personal development like crazy. It is the meat and potatoes of your success in this business. And we can direct you to where those trainings are. So look up that part of it. But that's how you set your good, great, and awesome goal. So your awesome goal of hitting 10,000, you have a couple people getting started on your team, voila, 10,000. You can do that your first month. I had a gal get started, and she got started with 4 people on her team. In her first month, they did $18,000 worth of sales. You guys, it's very doable. You have to be confident that what you have is amazing. And so set your goals big. And dream big, and know that if you reach for the stars, you might hit them. And so thank you guys for listening to this. If you have questions or feel like any of this didn't make sense, get with the person that is your upline area or regional vice president, and we can help you a little bit closer, or you can feel free to get in touch with me as well. Have a great night.